Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Happy Friday. With it being Friday, once again, that means it's time for another episode of Yield Weekly Beauty Chit Chat. If you are newer around here, this is a long-running series where I just chit chat about all of the fun, frivolous, completely unnecessary beauty products that I was personally loving or obsessing about over the course of the past week. So as always, I have a fun little lineup from this most recent week here, and I will go ahead and list and link everything in the description box below this video. If you'd like to know where to purchase these items, I try to find them on sale for you. If you want to read up other people's reviews, look at in-depth ingredient information, yada, 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 check out the description box. Always a plethora of information. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great week. I had a good week myself. Really looking forward to this weekend. It is actually our wedding anniversary this weekend, and Craig was originally talking about leaving town and just doing like a beach weekend or something. I love the beach, especially the Oregon coast in the fall. I love crappy weather, so I would be all over that. And we actually have a kind of nice storm rolling in this weekend, which would be amazing, just like sitting at a beach house and watching that roll in. However, I thought it would be nicer to maybe just stick in town and not miss our usual anniversary dinner spot. Literally for the last 17 years, well, this will be year 17. For the last 16 plus years, Craig and I have gone to the same restaurant in downtown Portland for our anniversary. We absolutely love it. It's horrifically overpriced, but it's our one big spoil type of meal each year. It's ridiculous what we pay for dinner at this place, but it's something that we just both have loved. Even when we were first married and we had very, very little money, we still saved up to be able to go have dinner at this place. So we're doing that actually tonight, and then tomorrow night I made us reservations at another ridiculously overpriced restaurant in town that I have kind of been eyeing for a few months, but it's not a place that we would normally go to for just like a random dinner. So I figure, since we're celebrating 17 years, why not? I don't want to cook a single thing this weekend. That to me is a good anniversary weekend. Anytime that I don't have to cook anything, I'm here for it. That is like the bane of my existence as like an adult and a parent these days, is like having people in the house asking me what's for dinner. I don't know. What do you want? No one ever tells me what they actually want to eat, but then when I make something, they're like, oh, womp womp. Not Craig, not so much Craig, but Stella definitely gives me the womp womp look pretty frequently, but she's always been a picky eater. So anyway, I'm gonna celebrate my anniversary. I wanna know what you are doing with your weekend. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to let me know what you are loving this past week in terms of the fun, frivolous, and completely unnecessary. I always like to see what you guys are loving as well. So let's go ahead and get into this week's faves, and let's see what I was getting into. So let's start where we always do, which is in the perfume department. The first fragrance I'm going to mention is Philosophy Falling in Love. This was actually the perfume that I wore on our wedding day. The year leading up to our actual wedding, I discovered this perfume and I fell in love with it. Falling in Love is a great name for this one. And as I was thinking about the perfume that I wanted to wear on our wedding day, I really thought, just because we were getting married, towards the end of October, that I would land on something that was much heavier, maybe something that was a little bit more spicy, or something that had like some amber or patchouli in it. But the more that I thought about it, the more I just kept coming back to this. The base of this fragrance is blackberry, so it's quite fruity and sweet. And it also has a really kind of nice vanilla running throughout it as well. It's an absolutely stunning fragrance, but it's not something that I typically gravitate towards in the fall. I tend to be very seasonal with my perfume, just like I am with my home fragrance. And this normally would be something that I would almost exclusively only wear during like the spring and summer. But for our wedding day, I was like, you know what? I think I do want something that's a little bit more light, a little bit more airy, something that just brings me a lot of joy and happiness. And when I thought about it, it was this perfume. Like, it was absolutely perfect as a wedding fragrance. One of the few things that I still remember very clearly from our wedding was the number of people who complimented me on how good I smelled on our wedding day. It was, oh gosh, you guys, it was such an overwhelming day. We had well over 200 people at our wedding. Craig's side of the family is quite large, and you know, his side definitely wanted to be there to celebrate us. So it was a big event, and I just I was definitely a lot more shy back then, and so it was a little overwhelming for me. And you know, in general, I feel like the wedding day is kind of overwhelming for most people, but one of the things that I do very clearly remember is the sheer volume of compliments I got on how good I smelled whenever I was hugging people or shaking hands. You guys, this is such a good one. As you can see, I'm almost finished with this current bottle here, but never fear, I've got a backup right here. This is one of those where I will always have a backup. So once I get to just about below the halfway point with this one, I always repurchase it so that as soon as I finish a bottle, I know I have one on backup. It is just one of those fragrances where when I feel like I need to really have a boost in my mood, something that really brings me true joy, this is what I reach for a lot of times. It is a fabulous fragrance. If you have never ever smelled this one, you need to stick your nose in it. It's gorgeous. If you love blackberry, if you love vanilla, you need to check this one out. It's absolutely beautiful. And like I said, compliments galore. So it's a very, I feel like, universally liked type of fragrance. I don't think I've ever met someone who has smelled this one and said, ew, that's gross. Some other perfumes that I wear, I've heard people say that, but not with that one. It seems to be very, very universally liked. So let's move on to some other perfumes that I was sporting this week. This here is Nest Black Tulip. I'm not sure if this one is still available, to be perfectly honest. Nest is, so Laura Slatkin actually left Nest. I think she's still on their board or something, but she is no longer a part of their everyday operations. And I feel like right around the time that she left, Nest got a complete revamp. So their perfume bottles, while they still look pretty much the same, they're a little different. And there are some fragrances that like this one that I don't think that I've seen pop out in the new packaging. I hope they didn't discontinue it, because man, is this one good. This is one of those fragrances that I actually thought that, well, not the specific one, it wasn't available back in 2008, but this is the type of fragrance overall that I thought I would wear on my wedding day. This is very deep, very dark. It has a little bit of spice to it, but it's really, really pretty. Definitely more of a fall and winter type of fragrance in my eyes though. This is beautiful, and if it is still available, I would say this is worth a splurge. This is really, really beautiful. Speaking of blackberry perfumes, I was also actually wearing this perfume this week. This is the 7 Virtues Blackberry Lily. This is obviously the travel size here, but I also own this in the full size. I love this blackberry, but I tell you what, this couldn't possibly be more opposite of the philosophy Falling in Love. This is light, airy, pretty, playful. This is heavy, dark, oppressive. But I love it so much, you guys. This Blackberry Lily has a definite sweet, fruity, deep, very dark blackberry note. But also in addition to that, we have the gorgeous lily, we have vetiver, we have amber, and we have patchouli. There's a very unique, almost kind of spicy vibe to this one. It is such a beautiful scent. Now, I think that the Seven Virtues may have discontinued this one. Obviously, I'm gonna have to look it up. I feel like they may have discontinued this one, but they could have potentially brought it back. But this is one where it really is next to, I would say, the Vanilla Woods. This is one of my other like all-time faves from the Seven Virtues. They have a beautiful fragrance lineup, and if you've never had a chance to smell any of the Seven Virtues fragrances, they are so long lasting on the skin. The formulations are incredibly beautiful, and some of them are quite unique. And just the overall wear time it's phenomenal. I really love this particular perfume brand and have fallen in love with a few of their scents. This one here is definitely one that, if it is still available, I would definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you are looking for a much deeper, darker, maybe more fall and winter type of perfume to add to your collection. That is, if it's still available. So the last fragrance I want to mention is actually a perfume that I just reviewed yesterday. This is the Clone Brave in Love number 37. This is actually a dupe for Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy. So if you love that original Kilian fragrance, I think this one is very, very close to the original. This is an extrait de parfum formulation, so I find the lasting power from the clone to be really, really good. This is a very long-lasting fragrance, and it's so pretty. That like marshmallowy, like vanilla cloud situation that's at the base of this one is heavenly. This is one of those where I feel like this is a very universally liked type of fragrance, but it's a dupe that is really well done, and the quality is there with the clone. They have a lot of other dupes in their lineup, and I noticed on their website now that they actually do like a bundle and save situation, which is fantastic. So yeah, if you don't want to spend the money on the Kilian Love Don't Be Shy, this is absolutely worth checking out. I said in my review that I think this is even better than the Dossier version. I really like the Dossier version, but I did compare the two a little while ago. I think this one is even maybe more spot on. So if you're looking for a dupe, this one is definitely worth picking up for sure. Next, let's move on to some hair care. I recently ordered this from Ulta. There was actually like a point multiplier for Kenra hair care products, and so I decided to go ahead and pick up a few of my faves. So I've got more of my thickening mousse, I have my volumizing spray, I have the thickening spray, and then this is actually, I think, my either second or third time using the Kenra Daily Provision Leave-In Conditioner. I really like this one because this is one of the few like leave-in sprays that I can actually spray into my hair because it doesn't stream out, if that makes sense. A lot of times I feel like I have to spray my leave-ins into the palm of my hand so that I can distribute the product a little bit better into my hair and not have, you know, like just streams of leave-in conditioner that I then have to try to like distribute to, you know, the rest of my head here. This is a really nice fine mist, which is fabulous, but I do think this does a really good job of protecting my hair. It detangles my hair. It's a really, really great product. I like the scent. It's not my favorite smell in terms of a leave-in, but it has a nice, pleasant fragrance to it. But it really does a good job of protecting my hair, obviously not weighing it down. I started using this a couple days ago, and I really like how soft and shiny this makes my hair. So, and as far as like high-end hair care lines go, I feel like Kenra really is one of the more like affordable options. So if you're looking for a new leave-in, I think this one is definitely worth checking out. Next, okay, I finished this. I am actually almost done with the conditioner as well. I've been using this now for, I feel like, 2+ years. This is the Pureology Strength Cure Blonde Purple Shampoo. And then, like I said, I also have the matching conditioner in the shower. I really love this particular purple shampoo. If you're new around here, I don't dye my hair gray. This is just my bad genetics. You can still see that I have some of my original like dishwater blonde back here. So yeah, my hair is still kind of transitioning at this point. The vast majority, at least, you know, in terms of most of my head, has transitioned to this kind of salt and pepper situation, but the underside still has a little bit of transitioning to do. But I really love using a purple shampoo and conditioner to keep the gray looking as bright as possible, to keep any of that like unwanted yellowness or brassiness out of my gray hair. And I have found that this particular formulation from Pureology is so gentle. I know that there are way more affordable purple shampoos and conditioners on the market. I've tried a lot of them, but this one has been the most gentle, and it really tones my hair perfectly. I essentially just use this once or twice a week, and I leave the shampoo in my hair for a couple of minutes, then I rinse that out. I leave the conditioner in my hair for a couple of minutes. My hair has never turned purple, and it just really does a good job of toning my hair. So when I finished this in the shower this morning, I was like, oh, bummer. But you know what? I'm just gonna go buy another liter of this the next time that Ulta has the liter sale that they normally have at least a few times a year. I'm sure that's coming up again probably in January, so I might have to go for a little while without this one, but I think it'll be worth it to wait for the next liter sale. So, but if you are in the market, this is absolutely fantastic, and 10 out of 10 would recommend. Very, very gentle, doesn't dry your hair out, and just does a really good job of toning it. Let's discuss some skincare next. Earlier this week, I did share both my morning and evening skincare routines that I'm currently using for the fall and winter seasons this year. If you missed those videos, I will link them in the description box down below. Since filming those videos, I have added a couple of things into my routine that I popped into my Ulta cart when I purchased the Kenra hair care stuff. So let me tell you what those two things were. So this is the Mixsoon Master Serum. Mixsoon is a Korean skincare brand. If you have not been to the like new arrivals section over on the Ulta website, you should go check that out. The amount of brands that Ulta is offering at this point is crazy, and they just keep adding more new brands, it seems like, every single week. So go Ulta, I love that. And I love that they are starting to offer more Korean skincare brands. This is one that I was definitely interested in, this Master Serum. So this has some really basic ingredients, but some really, really good ingredients in the formulation. So I'm just pulling it up here really quickly because I didn't memorize this, sorry. There's only so much that fits in here at this point, and like remembering all of the ingredients and all of the different things that I use, I'm sorry, it's not a priority in my brain. But anyway, so we have Centella Asiatica extract in this formulation. There is Bifida ferment extract, glycerin, sodium hyaluronate, hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid, as well as panthenol. This is essentially a very soothing, very hydrating serum, and boy, do I love it. I've only been using it for a couple days now, but just in terms of how this makes my skin feel immediately after applying it, it is a yes. This is definitely worth checking out, you guys. The texture is perfect. It's not too thick, not too thin. And actually, I'm glad that I'm putting this on my hand right now because these puppies are dry. It's a really, really nice, like almost watery like texture. And it just, again, absorbs very quickly into the skin. It doesn't feel sticky. Like you can definitely tell, you know, there's some hyaluronic acid in here for sure, just because of the way that it feels, but it's not sticky. It's not heavy. It absorbs very, very quickly. There's no fragrance in this product whatsoever. And it just immediately like seems to perk my skin up. You get a beautiful surge of moisture. You've got that centella, which can help soothe any irritation or redness in your skin. This is just a really, really nice serum. So yeah, if you're in the market for a new serum, I don't think the price point for this one was outrageous. I did have actually a 20% off coupon as well from Ulta, so I saved a little bit of money on this one, but definitely worth popping into your cart if you are looking for something for very irritated or very dry skin, especially this time of year. This is worth checking out. Also, I did already finish the new Paula's Choice Ectoin serum. I love that serum, but I will definitely admit that the amount of product is pretty small. Like you're not getting a ton from Paula's Choice, but it's an amazing formulation. I will definitely repurchase that again in the future, but I thought it might be worth checking out some other skincare brands that also offer the Ectoin in one of their formulations. And so I did a little bit of Googling, and this one from the Inkey list actually gets really, really good reviews. So this is the Inkey list Ectoin Hydro Barrier Serum. This is supposed to deliver multi-level hydration and build a stronger skin barrier. So far, so good. First of all, love the texture. Honestly, probably pretty similar to the texture of the Paula's Choice. Now, this one here, it feels very, very silky when you first apply it to your skin. It does take just a few minutes for this one to fully absorb, but I kind of feel like the overall result is very similar to the Paula's Choice Ectoin booster. This particular ingredient would be a great one to check out if you really struggle with tretinoin. If you are having a hard time with your skin adjusting to tretinoin, first of all, the Skin 1004 Barrier Cream that's a must. But also try adding in some Ectoin. I'm telling you, this, like, it just nourishes your skin like nobody's business. And once this absorbs, like, you are just left with the softest, and my hands were looking pretty rough there for a minute, but now between the serum on this hand and this serum on this hand, I feel like my hands, they don't look like they're 90 years old anymore. So yeah, I love both of these products here. Definitely worth checking out, especially this Inkey list one here because it is quite affordable. So yeah, if you're interested, these are both things that you're going to be seeing quite a bit of probably here over the next several months. So far, so good. Ooh, I'm losing, my battery's dying. Hold on, I'm gonna replace this and I'll be right. Thank goodness for backup batteries, especially those that are fully charged, so we can now finish the video. By the way, I'm really sorry about all of the interruptions that are probably going to be in this video here. My family will not stop texting me today, and I usually have my phone by my side here so I can see what the time is, and I've just been super tempted to look at the phone every time that they ding me, so I've decided to leave my phone in the hallway for the remainder of this video. Hopefully that means no more interruptions. Anyway, let's get back to it. I have one more skincare item that I want to mention. This was something else somewhat new that I added into my routine here. This is the Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Retinol Serum. I specifically got this to be able to use it on my neck. So I can use tretinoin on my face. I can use tretinoin on my chest. I cannot use it on my neck. I don't know what it is about the skin on my neck, but it is so sensitive compared to these other two areas. Like this is literally rhino hide here and here, but it's like baby skin on my neck. I don't understand the difference. I really don't. But I have to be just very careful about what I, bring down onto my neck. Most things are okay, but tretinoin is not. However, I need the benefits of a retinol type product on my neck as well. So haven't tried this one, thought it was worth a try. This is actually a 3.5% retinoid complex, and there's also squalane in this formulation. I think the addition of the squalane in here is what makes this so gentle and almost soothing to the skin. I have been using this twice a day on my neck, so I apply it as a part of my morning and my evening skincare routine. I don't think I need to use it twice a day, to be perfectly honest. I might scale back to just either morning or probably actually just nighttime. But yeah, this is incredibly gentle, but it seems to be quite effective. So if you are someone who either cannot use tretinoin on your face or you don't want to get a prescription for it, this is definitely something worth checking out. It is incredibly gentle, not irritating in any kind of way. And if it was, believe me, my neck would let me know. This is extremely gentle. And if you need a retinol that is going to be super, super gentle, I think this one is definitely worth checking out. So if you're in the market, read up a little bit more about this one. It also gets, just in general, really great reviews. This is worth checking out. All right. Lastly, I just have a few makeup items that I want to mention. The first is another lip product that I finished this week. I can't believe I finished it. I'm a little bummed. I'll be totally honest. I'm sad that I finished this. This is from Bite Beauty, which is no longer a thing. They do have the Bite Lip Lab in Vegas, and then they might have like one of those stores in like New York City as well. I don't know where all the locations are, but I was actually going to go to the Lip Lab when Craig and I went to Vegas earlier this year. However, that guy decided to have a severe like sciatica attack right as we got into Vegas, and so I was not able to go to the Lip Lab. That'll have to be on another trip, but yeah, I actually miss the Bite Beauty lip products. I thought they had a great line, but anyway, this is one of their lip crayons. This is the shade Madeira, and it's gone. Yeah, there's still a little bit like in the bottom here, but I can't, like it's done. Could I dig the rest of this out? I could, but am I going to? No. Listen, I already have been kind of sticking my pinky in here this week to get, here, I can still get a little bit out. It's a really pretty color, you guys, but first of all, I don't have any like little pots to decant this into. And then also, once I get to this point with a lipstick, I consider that a success. I have finished the lipstick in my eyes. So sad to be letting this one go, but also glad that I used it and didn't allow it to go bad. And I would love to find a shade that is somewhat similar. Here it is on my lips. You can see it's just kind of a nice, lighter, definitely pinky brownie type of nude. It's really, really beautiful. If you know of a similar color, let me know what it is, because I'd love to have this exact shade again. Maybe, should I save this and take it to the Bite Lab and be like, can you just recreate this for me? Should I do that? Could they do that? Maybe I should call them. Anyway, love that. Blush wise this week, I was sporting some Marc Jacobs over here. Listen, I don't know what the deal is, but where is the Marc Jacobs makeup line? It was supposed to be back in 2025. We are getting dangerously close to the end of 2025. Where's the makeup, Marc? Bring it back. We miss your makeup. Anyway, two of my favorite blushes from his Air Blush line back in the day were the shades Lush and Libido and Night Fever and Hot Stuff, these two here. These are very bright. Listen, I have to use a very light hand with these because especially this one, this is the Night Fever and Hot Stuff. This will make me look like a clown like that. Like I have to basically just tippity tap my brush in here and yeah, this is what I'm wearing today. I used a very, very light hand. I'm telling you, not that you can get this. I'm talking to you like you can go out and buy this right now. You might still have this in your collection. If you do, you should bust it out because it's beautiful. But yeah, this is one of those blushes where if you over apply it, you look in the mirror and go, whoa. And it's really hard to blend out because these are insanely pigmented. This makeup was fantastic. Anyway, this is Lush and Libido. This is kind of an interesting mix of like a fuchsia and a peach shade. I like to use this one a little bit more during the spring and summer, but also I feel like I can kind of make this one work during the fall as well. But isn't it pretty? I love these. I am still beyond livid with myself for dropping the Flesh and Fantasy. I had that one too. That was my favorite. That was my favorite out of all of the colors that I own, and I friggin' dropped it. And I did try just like, you know, putting it back together. I watched all sorts of videos about how to, you know, like repress your powder products, but it never performed the same way again. So anyway, I've got these and I was sporting them this week and I love them, but I need Marc to come back with his makeup. Great makeup line. All right, and then eyeshadow wise, I was reaching for these two this week. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. How long has it been since you've worn this palette? A very long time. If you have it, you should bust it out. It's actually a really pretty one for the fall. There's a lot of like deeper, like burgundy, like rosy type shades that I think are perfect for this time of year. So here she is in all her glory. I've had some major pan on the lightest shade in this one here, but none of the rest of them have hit pan quite yet. But yeah, this is a really beautiful palette from back in the day that I think is definitely worth holding on to still at this point. Like the formulation, nice and pigmented. It does take a little bit more in terms of blending with the Anastasia formulation, but it's good. It definitely stays put, so that's a bonus. This is the Zoeva on Taupe palette. This has been another favorite in my collection. The shades Outline and Wrapped in Silk, these two right here are definitely my favorites from this palette. Like they're just so pretty. This whole situation just, this speaks to me. It's a little bit more cool toned. I just love it. Zoeva used to be available for a hot minute at Ulta, and they're not anymore, which is a bummer because I like their makeup. I really like their brushes. I have several of the Zoeva makeup brushes, and they're amazing quality. So I don't know if you're looking for some makeup brushes. I don't know where you can buy them anymore, but the Zoeva brushes have been really good to me over the years. So anyway. And that's everything that I have for you guys today. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Don't forget to let me know what you were loving this past week and what you're up to on this lovely fall weekend in the comments down below. Really appreciate you guys being here. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.